Hello, Todd Clemens, Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here's your weekly market report. Good run of cattle this week. We had, I think, about 2,500 for the both days, which is about pretty consistent with what it was this time last year. And as far as the yearly count goes, I think we're about dead even right now compared to what we were last year, which is kind of a surprise. I keep thinking these numbers are going to slow down and the runs won't be quite as big, but that's not the case so far. So there's plenty of cattle still out there. Here in the great state of Florida, the Sunshine State, we still have cattle. And it's amazing the people you run into and talk to that aren't from here over on the coast and all. You tell them where we live and what we do, and we're in the cattle business in Florida, and they say, y'all have cattle in Florida? Well, yeah, we're one of the top cattle producers in the whole country and some of the best cattle you'll ever find. And that's for sure, because these calves are in hot demand. These South Florida calves will grow off and do good, and they live and survive, and they know how to fight alligators and snakes and mosquitoes and flies and everything. So they're tough, and these buyers are really wanting them. We had some 5-weight good number one steer calves this week bring gosh, I guess those things were bringing up there around $5 a pound, close to it. 4-weight calves were over $5 a pound. 6-weight calves were bringing right there around $4. Had some 7-weight calves bringing $3.50 or better. And those front end good quality calves are really ringing a bell, and they just say they're not out there. And these buyers, they're getting phone calls, and people are needing cattle. And I think the wheat pastures, the ryegrass and the wheat pastures are going to be in big demand for cattle. Conditions are good. There's been rain in places that haven't had a lot of rain in the last few years, but they've got grass and they've got winter pastures, and they're needing these Florida calves. And we reported last week, I kind of figured this thing had topped out. The futures board had a huge correction on Friday last week. It was down the limit on the feeder cattle, that 900-point limit down day on Friday. It bounced back on Monday, put a lot of that back on Monday, and then Tuesday was just a normal kind of a trading day on the futures board there. It might have been off just a little bit, but things were back trading pretty normal. Fat cattle that have been traded this week, not very many have traded this week, but they're calling for fat cattle prices to be a little bit lower, maybe steady to $2 or $3 lower. I think the packer margins are dwindling back down because the retail box beef price has dropped off. This is a tough month. September is pretty tough for beef at the retail level. There's not a lot of, no holidays, no big prime rib days or steak days. It's kind of hot, and we're waiting for the end of the year towards Thanksgiving before those beef prices are going to probably bounce back up there. But everything's still selling pretty good here. I thought it was going to be a little bit cheaper, but these calves are certainly dollars higher. Just some of these prices are kind of unimaginable, and kind of hard to believe that these calves are bringing what they are. We're glad they are, and producers are tickled to death. We just got to make sure these buyers are buying these cattle for people that are going to put them in the food supply chain and come out the other end, and everybody make a little bit of money. If we can do that, we can hold these prices at the level they are. But everybody's got to make a little bit, or it's going to make an adjustment or a correction somewhere in this price level. Slaughter cows and bulls, we did see a little bit of correction on the slaughter classes this week. Cows were maybe some of them $10 cheaper, but that doesn't really mean that these cow prices are cheap. It just means they have kind of leveled off a little bit. I think some of these big outfits here in Florida are doing a lot of pregnancy checking, and they're going through their cows and culling their cows and semen checking their bulls. We've had a lot of bulls come through here. That's what happens this time of year in September. Preg checking, semen checking bulls, and getting ready for breeding season, and getting the bulls turned out at the first part of the coming year. So yeah, there was a little bit of pressure on the cow market, but still we had cows. Good cows are bringing up there in the 160s and 70s. A few of them in the 180s, and these bulls are still over $2 a pound, and that's not bad. So still a pretty good market, and I think that we'll continue to have these runs pretty consistently till the end of the year. Doesn't show any signs of slacking off any. There's gooseneck after gooseneck pouring in here on Monday and Tuesday, and you can't really blame them, man. As high as this thing is, bring them on to the market, because we're finding out what these things are worth. Price discovery, you'll find that at all the livestock markets across the country, and we're here to do that on Mondays and Tuesdays. Upcoming events, we've got bull sales coming in October, and that's 2 weeks away from this Friday, October the 3rd. Deer Valley Farms Angus bulls will be here, Okeechobee Livestock Market, Friday. The sale starts at 1. There'll be about 50 head of really good top-notch Angus bulls that you can put them on your heifers or you can put them on your cows. Use them either way, but they'll be good, they'll be big, and they'll be ready to go. That's October the 3rd, 1 o'clock. And then every Friday after that will be bull sales. The Brangus bull sale, Charolais bull sale, and then mixed breed bull sale, the last sale of October. So come see us, get your checkbook, bring it with you, buy you bulls, and have a steak dinner with us, and we'll be glad to see you then. Top prices this week. This is a new name to the list, and what a price this was. This was a little baby, like a week-old calf, little black calf. I saw him, I couldn't believe it. He weighed 7,500 pounds. He brought $11 a pound. And that calf was a new name, Guillermo, which is William in English, Guillermo Espinosa. You top the calf market with that $11 calf. That's a very high, unusual price. We couldn't even figure out how to calculate it and put it in the computer, but we did. And Paco bought that calf. And wow, that was something. Everybody was amazed at that. And on the slaughter cow side, here's a name that rings a bell because they come here about every week. And they're good friends of ours, good friends of the family, the Chapmans from Kenansville, Double C Bar Ranch. You top the cow market with a 1,405 pound cow that brought $1.77. And that cow was bought by Cargill. That's your market report. We appreciate your business. Thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We'll tell you what we think. It might be right, could be wrong, but it's what we think. Thank you. We'll see you next week.